What's up, guys? This is Corey, also known as QC Rideshare, just hitting you with another one. And so I wanted to share with you, because one of the efforts that I wanted to make with some of my videos going forward is responding to some comments or concerns or questions and just kind of give you my take on. A lot of times you'll see that I'll write like a one sentence comment or a couple words, or I like your post, but I wanted to kind of make it more interactive where I'm communicating with you directly. And so I wanted to do that. You guys can let me know in the comments how you feel about that, and we'll just kind of go from there. But I just wanted to kind of try it out, see what you guys think. So one of my most recent comments goes like this, and I'll read it, and we'll talk about it. It says, I do Uber Eats in the DC area. Most of these customers do not tip, either in cash upon completion of the delivery or on the app. Doesn't matter if you're prompt, polite, and professional. It seems that many folks have a different viewpoint on tipping in a service such as this than, say, in a restaurant. To be fair, however, I have had some customers who tip generously, but they are the minority. All right. So, first, thanks for the comment. I definitely appreciate that. And to kind of go off of what you're talking about, well, first, let me explain to me my viewpoint on tipping. I have always had the viewpoint of tipping is extra. I don't count tipping into my budget. I don't count tipping into my expectation for how much I'm going to make. When I take a particular job, whether it's Postmates, Uber Eats, Ship, I don't add tips or anticipated tips into how much I'm going to make. I view tipping as extra. And that helps me because when I do get a tip, I'm pleasantly surprised, and that's extra versus having the expectation of I took this $10 shop or I took this $10 delivery and I expect to get $3 to $5 more. A lot of times I would say that you are correct in the fact that people do view tipping differently in the gig economy versus with a restaurant, and that's mainly because we've been dealing with restaurants and tipping in restaurants for 100 years now, and so we're almost ingrained to do it. But you're also starting to see that tide kind of change, where you're seeing restaurants have the mentality of please don't tip, it's taken care of, we're paying our employees more, whatever the case may be. But what I would say to do is continue your prompt, professional, polite service. That should be the norm. I wouldn't view that as something that you're doing. If you view that as your norm, then you're never really frustrated in the fact that you're doing extra, because you wouldn't view it as extra. Also, always try to, and if you feel as if you're doing something where you do get a tip, I'll be honest with you, it's just hard for me to kind of get too upset about tipping, just because I've never viewed it as something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to anticipate. And I think that you may have to reevaluate financially whether that particular platform works if you're counting tips. If a platform doesn't work based off the base salary, then you can't really look forward to tipping. I would say tipping is so ingrained in our society that you think about it, a lot of waitresses make $1.50 an hour because they get tips as their primary salary. That's just not the case with the gig economy. So I think it's kind of a handoff where you're going to see it equalizing, where these platforms have a ton of data. So if they see that 95% of all their people get a $5 tip, probably going to start seeing some of the amounts that they pay go down, because basically all they're doing is passing on the expense of paying you to the customer. So don't get upset about tipping. Don't get frustrated. Don't let that happen to you, because but I will say to reevaluate the platform if tipping is a necessity in order to make the math make sense. But thanks for the comment. So we're going to keep trying these. You leave comments, you leave insights. I'm going to respond to them directly. Just remember, the Gig Essentials podcast is part of the Gig Podcasting Network. So you can go to gigpodcasting.network, little cool domain name that we got there. And you can actually see the family of podcasts. We currently have 5 podcasts that are out. We have Stretch 4, which is basketball, RPO, which is a football-based podcast. We had the Get Rip podcast, which is not only a podcast, but a true full experience. It's an interactive podcast where you can contact the guys via Instagram, email, and you direct the show essentially. We're going to have an Instagram Live and YouTube coming out soon on that. And those guys want to interact with you and help you with your health and wellness. We also have From the Mind of My 7-year-old Son, the Lamar and Corey Show. And so all 5 are currently on all major podcasting platforms. We're going to be experimenting with some YouTube stuff as well with some of the platforms. Also, we have another 4 shows in development. So definitely, if you have a friend who is not subscribed to some of our podcasts, grab their phone, push them off with one arm, and subscribe to the podcast and let them know that it's good for them. Also, we know a lot of times, especially this time of year, it's hard to support financially, which we definitely understand. If you can, when you're doing your regular Amazon shopping that you normally do, go to gigpodcasting.network, tap on the Amazon link. It'll take you directly to Amazon.com, gives us a little commission, helps us out financially. So if you wanted to support the show, it's a quick and easy way of doing that. We don't get any purchasing data or anything like that. So outside of that, that is all. Until the next one. Peace.